sure what that means.
I don't love it.
You don't love what? The tush push or
Yeah,
banning?
it's more rugby than football to me. I don't like it, and I think the NFL changed the kickoff. They changed the PAT. It feels too automatic. I don't – listen, Joe Madden invented the defensive shift, and baseball eventually said, congrats on the innovation, but we're eliminating it because we don't think it's good television. It's not good for math.
So you think the tush push is not good TV?
No, I think it's bad, and I think if you're using it 6 or 7 times, I don't think it's good TV. I think it's – and again – people have invented stuff in sports, and then the governance has stepped in. It's just like tax accountants find loopholes, and then the government steps in and goes, okay, you had it for 6 years. We're closing a loophole. We've got a new administration. So we have regulations added, regulations taken away. We do this all the time in all of our businesses. I don't think the tush push feels like a creative football play.
So you like dynasties in sports, right?
I like big brands, big games, big stars.
And what do they do when they dominate? You like them dominating. The tush push is utterly dominant, Colin. It is unstoppable. I'm tuning. The Eagles have hacked things so well that, hey, we just need to get like to 3rd and 2, and then we can get the first down in 2 plays. That, to me, is smart football, and it's dominant, and nobody can stop it.
Well, defensive shift was smart baseball.
But that made it boring. I don't think the tush push is boring.
Yeah, I don't think
is
it's
it restricting offense?
I think it's pretty boring.
I was waiting for this take. Because you guys all know that I keep the receipts. You know that I keep receipts. And I love Colin. Colin is my GOAT. I think he's the best out there. He's my favorite show, favorite broadcaster, as he calls himself. But, like, we got to be consistent. So the Eagles find a way to do what they've been able to do. And Colin is now saying they got to close this loophole. They should ban it. That's really weird. Because just on Monday, let's see what he said.
We have ourselves a really interesting situation in baseball. And everybody's freaking out. And I think they're really freaking out because it's the Yankees. If this was the Rays, or the Diamondbacks, it wouldn't be nearly the story. So the Yankees used an MIT analyst, Aaron Learnhardt. He's a former Yankee analyst. There are a lot of fans of the Yankees in New York and around the globe, frankly. And they had a couple guys on the roster. Volpe was struggling to hit. And so they did something totally legal. And it has been a massive home run. So they shifted some of the weight in the bat from the barrel closer to the label. So in baseball, there's a length restriction and a diameter restriction. And the Yankees didn't break either rule. Baseball tells you bat's got to be this long and this big in diameter. It doesn't tell you where you have to put the meat of the bat. You could put it all in the handle and it would look weird, but you can do that. So the Yankees, because of this, are on a frenzy. Everybody's hitting home runs. They're first in runs, home runs, RBIs, OPS. They're number one in everything. And you know what this is? It's peak Bill Belichick. He knows the rule book better than you did. He knows it better than the Ravens did or the Colts did. The Colts, by the way, were piping in sound, which is illegal in the NFL, but Belichick knew the rule book better. So all the Yankees did, and MIT analysts, smart people go there, shifted weight from the barrel. They didn't make the diameter illegal. They didn't change the length of it. They just, and I mean, slightly shifted it. Now, for the record, not every batter needs it.
So it's so interesting. So interesting that when the Yankees fundamentally change the baseball bat, talk about reinventing the wheel, where they hit 15 home runs in 3 games, which is insane. They didn't break any rules. People are just freaking out because it's the New York Yankees. This is so Bill Belichick. He knows the rules better than you. But when the Eagles know the rules better than you, when the Eagles figure out a play that's innovative and genius and smart that other teams failed to do, it's boring. It's dangerous. Why are people not are people freaking out? If it was the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Indianapolis Colts, the Carolina Panthers, if they were doing the tush push, would we be panicking about it? Probably not. So where's that take about it being the Yankees? People are freaking out with the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, I absolutely love Colin Cowherd. Love Colin Cowherd. And so this is not even meant to be like a gotcha on Colin at all. Truly, it's not. I'm just trying to highlight inconsistent thought patterns that people have in general, because lots of people are having this. And this is insane. Because, right, we praise Bill Belichick. We praise Harbaugh. We praise the Yankees for just being really smart, having guys in MIT. And if people are freaking out, we're like, you're just mad. When people were complaining about the refs with the Kansas City Chiefs, Colin and other people came out and said, you're just trying to find ways to bring down and explain why the Chiefs are winning. The fact of the matter is that they're just better than you. And now you're trying to pull away from the Eagles. And again, even when Colin said, this is boring 6-7 times, the Eagles don't do it 6 or 7 times a game. What are we saying? They do it like twice a game. Some games they don't do it at all. What are we saying? Seriously. If they did it 7 times a game, they would do it 119 times in a season. They don't do that. They don't do that at all. What are we saying here? What are we inventing here? And then what is this?
I've come full circle on it because it defines Philadelphia. It's not cheating. It's not using illegal equipment. What it is a coaching staff that says we have 2 unique athletes, a quarterback that can deadlift 600 pounds and the best center in football, Jason Kelsey, in over a decade. It's innovation. It's ingenuity. Nobody else can do it this well. It gets 3 yards, sometimes 4. They could use this, if you think about it, they could use this as their offense. It is a copycat league. And yet nobody in the NFL invents and reinvents itself more than Philadelphia. They won a bunch of games with Carson Wentz. They moved off him. They won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. They moved off him. Chip Kelly won 10 games twice. They moved off him. Nobody does that in the NFL.
So where did that go? And also, clearly the tush push didn't have anything to do with Jason Kelsey. Sorry, Kelsey. And it's a copycat league, yet no other team can do it like the Eagles do it. It's just so unbelievable that we keep trying to act like it's because of player safety, that it's because of injuries, that it's because of it's boring. The Eagles were boring last year, this last season. They scored 95 points in the Super Bowl and NFC Championship game, setting records. They scored the most points in an entire playoff run in NFL history. They were averaging 35 points a game in the playoffs, whatever the final numbers were. They set the record in the NFC Championship game, hanging 55 points. 55 points. You're saying that that's boring? They dominated the Kansas City Chiefs, where they did the tush push once. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. You know what I find so funny? I find this so funny. Saquon Barkley rushed for 2,000 yards. 2,000 yards. An absolute beast. Is that all because of the tush push? Obviously not. Scored 13 touchdowns. right? Top in the league. Top 7. You know, 1 away from being top 5. And he didn't even play, obviously, all the games. These other guys played 17 games. So we could give him another couple touchdowns. Boom. Would be, you know, top 2. Is that not exciting? Is that not exciting? Jalen Hurts. Third most rushing yards in the NFL. 630 yards. Is that all because of the tush push? They did the tush push 630 times? Weird. Weird. It's weird how they want to act like this play to right here is like the source of like everything for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, how about their number 1 defense in the NFL? Is that because of the tush push too? I mean, heck, their offense is so dominant and they keep going for it on 3rd and 4th down, so they dominate time of possession. If anything, the other team's offense should be like pretty well rested, ready to go. The Eagles defense just dominates. I don't get these bizarre narratives that we keep trying to make up. A team that has the 3rd most rushing yards from their quarterback. Saquon Barkley, most rushing yards in NFL history. You know, if it wasn't for injuries, multiple 1,000-yard receivers. Top offense in the NFL. Dynamic, exciting, explosive. Hanging 55 in a conference championship game. And again, we talk about it being boring or bad, you know, ugly and bad television. When you watched the Eagles versus the Commanders in the conference championship game, you came away from that game saying, wow, the Philadelphia Eagles are unbelievable. They are dominant. Jalen Hurts balled. Saquon Barkley, first play of the drive of the game for the Eagles, unbelievable. Wow. Oh my goodness. They're going to the Super Bowl, second Super Bowl in 3 years. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That game was unbelievable. 7 for 7 in the red zone. Unbelievable. Yo, watch the Chiefs versus the Bills game. What was the takeaway? What did everyone talk about immediately? Oh my God. That was a first down. Did you see that flag that they threw? How did they not throw? Did they pick up the flag? How did they not convert? How was that not called a first down? How was that not a pass interference? How was that? No. See the difference? See the difference? How about the first drive in the Super Bowl from the Philadelphia Eagles? When they had that bad offensive pass interference call. The call that Tom Brady said, that's awful. You can't call that in a Super Bowl. Did like hundreds of millions of people collectively go, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. Yeah. I think so. I think so. I mean, the first 2 playoff games for the Chiefs, the big talking points were referees. And yet in every single Philadelphia Eagles playoff game, nobody was talking about the tush push. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody was talking about how it's ugly. Nobody was talking about how it was boring. Nobody was talking about how it was controversial. Nobody. The only reason why they even remotely brought up the tush push after that Commanders game was because the Eagles beat them so badly. They were like, what else do we got to talk about? And they won, and so we had 2 weeks to talk about the Eagles because they were going to the Super Bowl. It's just crazy, man. It really, 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 really is. That's why I keep making these tush push videos now, because it's just like it's bonkers to me at this point. It really is. This play has somehow made people lack the ability to think critically or be consistent. It just doesn't make sense. And yeah. I'm all for closing loopholes. Like Colin talked about the shift and stuff like that. Yeah, I hate the shift because it was bad for baseball. And I made the argument about the baseball bats, or those torpedo bats, being bad for baseball, because I don't want to watch baseball games where both teams have those bats and both teams are averaging like 4 or 5 home runs each. I don't want to watch a baseball game where it's just 8 or 9 home runs a game. That's not fun. If it leads to just more hits in general and less home runs, and not so much more of this upgrade in home runs, I'm for that. I'm for the action. That's what baseball desperately needs. But baseball doesn't need more home runs. That's not exciting. I'm sorry. Watching a score like 14-3 is not exciting. That's not what baseball is. And so, like I said, if everybody was using the tush push and they were all doing it successfully, then I would say, yeah, this is not that interesting. This is not as fun. This should probably be changed, because this is fundamentally changing the viewing product. That's not what's happening with the Philadelphia Eagles. And nobody else can do it like the Philadelphia Eagles. That is such the key point there. That is such the key point. If the Yankees were doing something very unique from a hitting perspective, they changed their swings in a way that led to more hits, more home runs, or something. I can't even think of like a decent example, because baseball is kind of tricky in that regard. Like, and other teams couldn't do it, then I was like, yeah, that's the Yankees innovation. But since it is a bat now, everybody could just go buy that bat essentially. If everyone around the league now, everyone's just hitting 5, 6, 7, 8 home runs a game, it's actually legitimately not that interesting. They could already do that. Use cork bats. Like, it's actually just not that interesting. So, we've missed the plot here. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles? I've said this now in multiple videos. This truly never-ending talk about the tush push, because it really is legitimately never-ending. It is the story that just keeps on giving this off-season. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.